Thabiso Mchunu successfully defends his NABF Cruiserweight title with a 10-round UD over Garrett Wilson. Now, for those of you who ain't seen Mchunu before, he's a fairly short, powerfully built southpaw cruiserweight from South Africa. He was the guy who beat Eddie Chambers when Eddie Chambers dropped down to cruiserweight. I believe it was a year ago now. He's a slick fighter, usually boxes on the back foot, good counter puncher, very quick hands, and solid, very respectable punching power. Some people will say that he's boring to watch because he is pretty much a pure boxer in most of his fights. But, you know, that may be the case, but I've still been impressed by his skills thus far. He does have one loss on his record earlier on in his career. I believe it was a TKO loss as well, but it was quite, I think it was like 4 years ago or something like that. I'm not sure about the circumstances surrounding the loss. I haven't actually seen it for myself. But since then, I've seen a few of his fights. I saw the Chambers fight. He fought a Nigerian guy after Chambers. Then obviously Garrett Wilson. I've been pretty impressed. I think the athleticism he possesses is special. And I think he's probably the quickest cruiserweight in the world today. Again, like I say, he's a short guy. They say he's 5'11", but I'm not even sure he's that tall. In this fight with Garrett Wilson, Wilson was actually shorter than he was. Wilson is only about 5'7" or 5'8" or something like that. He's a very short guy himself. So it was unusual for Mchunu to be fighting someone shorter than he is. Mchunu fought his usual fight. Like I say, boxing on the back foot, counter punching, just doing enough to win, not really overly exerting himself and going for the KO. But I always find when I watch Mchunu, I'm impressed by his athleticism, by his hand speed, his coordination, his movement, particularly the Chambers fight. If you ain't seen the Chambers fight, I suggest you go watch it and come back and tell me you weren't impressed by Mchunu's skills. I think Mchunu is a threat to all the cruiserweight champions. I think he's a threat. I'm not saying he beats them all, but I think he's a threat and he'll give them all a lot of problems. I'd love to see Mchunu fight Marco Huck, the captain. I'd love to see that fight. I think Mchunu's got a very good chance against Captain Hook. As big and strong as Captain Hook is, I don't think he's been in there with someone with the type of speed and coordination and explosiveness that Mchunu has, combined with his athleticism and slickness, because he's a very good defensive fighter. Garrett Wilson did have some early success in the fight with a couple right hands. I still gave Mchunu all the early rounds. In fact, I think he probably won all the rounds in the fight, but Garrett Wilson did manage to catch him once or twice in the early rounds. I think Mchunu was not used to fighting someone shorter than him because he's a very short guy himself. So I think Wilson did manage to get underneath him a little bit and catch him with a few shots, but nothing major and nothing too often. So yeah, I thought overall it was a workman-like, slick performance by Mchunu. It's what we've come to expect from him, and he goes on to bigger and better things. Hopefully now we'll see him in a world title fight. I think this guy more than likely will be a world champion. I'm impressed by his skills. Not the most exciting guy, but I'm impressed by his ability. Drop your comments below if you've seen the fight. Let me know what you think. Let me know how you feel about Mchunu as a fighter and his future prospects in the division. This is Hatman, I'm out.